Okay, hi everybody, and welcome to a review of the AS01 assignment, which is the Okanagan Skydive audit. Just going to go over some of the good points that people came up with, some of the recommendations, and some of the good analysis that people identified. Also point out some of the errors that people made in their assignments, and then we will also have a look at assignment 2 as well. So just quickly jumping into the Okanagan Skydive site. Now, we chose the site specifically because it is a bit outdated. It does have some problems with it. And lots of people picked up on those, but not everybody. So just looking at a couple of the things in the website here that we can pick up on. We can see that this layout is a bit outdated. We might be looking for a modernized color scheme here. White space is always recommended, guys. It has actually better contrast. It works well for all levels of eyesight. Having white background with lots of clean, clear white space is certainly the best practice for most websites. So, we can see in the background here, we've got an actual photo in the background that's not very high resolution quality. We've got lots of different colors in the main body area here. So that doesn't work very well there. We've got a lot of different fonts here. So we've got the title here is different font here, different font here, different font here. As we scroll down, different font. We have got maybe 10 different types of font on this one page. When we're talking about congruence, when we're talking about sites syncing up together, having that many different types of font doesn't work. So we would want to go through and synchronize all of our fonts. When we talk about the design of a site, you would probably choose 3 complementary fonts. So there are some fonts that work really well with other fonts. Often you have a bold font that works well with a thinner font. So you'd want to probably narrow that down to 3 different types of font here, maybe even 1 or 2. But we've got lots of things going on here with the fonts. Couple of the things that people did highlight as good points. We've got a book now button, so it tells you exactly what you are supposed to do when you get onto the website. That's a great thing. We've got a clear navigation here. These are clearly buttons for navigation. Possibly too many buttons here. Do we think we need all of these buttons? Could they be joined up together? But we do have the buttons there. We do have these hero images that people identified, these exciting images that bring people in. So that's really good. But we also, as we scroll down the page here, we've got lots of copy in different areas here. We've got talking about these gift certificates. We've got this long copy here, which you have to read through entirely. Like actually scanning this to pick up information is tricky. Then we've got a different color visual hierarchy here. So again, the visual hierarchy, not great because, we can see above the fold, we can see the what's in the main menu here. But as we come down, what's telling us, how is this visual hierarchy directing us to what to do next? It's not really. It's basically just telling us read all of this long text here. As we come down, guys, this is really clunky. This is really cluttered. We can see we've got 3 different columns here. These logos don't line up. This Facebook logo is the wrong logo. It's not that logo anymore. So it's giving off a little bit of a spammy vibe here, guys. You might look at this and think this might be a spam website. We've got logos here that don't have the background taken out, so that looks pretty amateur. We've got a broken link here. We've got a social media link, but we don't know where it actually links to. It doesn't actually have any title information there, so that's kind of wonky. Then we go these different size fonts again, so that's not great. In our footer here, somebody identified that all of the footers are different. So if we go to another page here, we'll just quickly double check that. So we've got these photos. That's great. This is all like lots of text again. We need to simplify that. And as we go down, we've got a different year in the actual footer here. You can see this is 2021. The previous one was 2024. So when you're looking at that, does that inspire confidence in the website? Does that inspire credibility? It gives you the sense that maybe this is not an official website, could be a spam website. So there's a few issues there. If we jump into their gallery, we can see lots of good images. This is something that's been highlighted as part of their social media. They've got lots of great content, lots of exciting images on their social media. So that's a good point there. What else have we got here? So a couple of other things about their website here. Yeah, it needs a visual hierarchy update. We need to go in and change this around so we actually have a hierarchy to follow. Remember, starting with the biggest thing, going down to the next, and the next, and the next, and that's directing us somewhere. Let's go back to our main page here. Yeah, we need to make our copy more concise. We need to align our footers. On the SEO side of things, guys, people talked about including more long tail keywords. That's definitely going to be a good thing to do. There are a lot of short tail keywords. They also target a lot of location-based things. So Kelowna, Vernon, those are in their top 5 keywords. One of the things with that is that they don't have any competition in the Okanagan. So is it necessary to have Kelowna and Vernon in their keywords or focus on those as much? They could possibly focus on other keywords rather than those ones. We also most people identified that they have toxic backlinks. So there's quite a few backlinks there where Google does not rate their backlinks. The backlinks are considered toxic. So that's probably a result of them potentially buying their backlinks from some kind of website. So they're not getting their backlinks from websites where they've actually earned the backlink. Or websites that are not connected to their website, they've potentially paid for those backlinks. So again, guys, that's a black hat practice there. Lots of people identified that. Yeah, and then making sure we're getting backlinks on sites that make sense for this company. People talked about like Tourism Kelowna. Canada tourism sites. Those are really good sites to have these backlinks on, not these other ones that are toxic. The other thing that people identified was that they don't have any paid advertising, so that could be something that could help them in terms of getting people to the site. But yeah, this website in general needs a real update. It needs to be modernized. It needs to follow some better practices here. Okay. When we think about some of the problems with people's submissions, some of the teams, some of the main problems came down to, I think every team, every group identified some of the benchmarks. So everybody talked about benchmarks, but there wasn't one team that actually identified what some of the benchmarks actually are. So if you're talking about a benchmark being the number of total jumps per year, nobody actually put an actual number on that. So how do we know what Okanagan Skydive has to aim up to? What should be their goal in terms of a benchmark when they're competing with other companies? Yeah, that's the same for how many people should be going to their website as well. So how do you actually figure out what your digital marketing is if you don't know what a good target is, what the best companies in the industry are doing in terms of traffic and benchmarks? The other thing here, guys, is a lot of people were like, "Oh, the website looks great. It's got clear buttons, yeah, which it does. But guys, this website clearly needs an update. If you took this to any web designer, they would pick this apart. Okay, so we did identify some of the things. Some of these images are good. They've got things like this book now button telling us what we need to do. But other people were like, yeah, the visual design is great. It clearly needs updating here, guys. So that was an issue. We also identified some of their social media platforms, Instagram and YouTube, guys. But they actually have a couple of other platforms. Some people didn't identify that they have got X, that they also have Facebook. So make sure you're finding all of those social media platforms. And then, guys, the other thing that people identified was that they said that there was mobile optimization. So when you go to a mobile, the site is got progressive optimization. So it will convert itself into a mobile site. I've double checked this, guys. I've checked it on Apple. I've checked it on Android. I cannot find one example of this site being progressively optimized. Every time it goes onto a mobile, it appears exactly the same way as it does on the website. Now, the big problem with that is, I mean, it'll fit into the screen, so it is actually progressive in that way, but the big problem with that is that you're making all of the buttons a lot smaller, makes it really, really difficult to navigate. So the mobile site definitely needs to be either converted to progressive optimization, or it needs to be simplified so that it's easier. Things like hamburger menus should be one of the main conventions that you follow for a site, especially when you've got lots of menu options. Actually trying to click on those buttons are really difficult when you're just shrinking down your main website. Okay, that's the feedback on AS01, guys. Let's quickly have a look at AS02. So the second part of this assignment, guys, you're staying with the same teams. It's due on April 12th, and it is worth 5%. But guys, essentially what we're doing for this one is we are, based on our audit, we are going to come up with a digital strategy for Okanagan Skydive. So we're looking at this information that we found, and we've got a few things that we're going to do. First thing, guys, the first part is to create a target user persona. So who are we actually trying to target this at? And guys, we've got to give all of these different information on all of these different areas. The demographics, psychographics, behavior, geographics, and technographics as well. So make sure you provide explanations and evidence for that, guys, to show who might be your user persona, your target customer. So we're going to create that. Then we are going to give recommendations for website improvements. We've just talked about a few of those. Lots of people identified recommendations in their in AS01. Technically, that wasn't what you were supposed to do, guys, but a lot of people gave inferences about their actual analysis through their recommendations. So I actually marked that based on what you were recommending. But here, guys, you're going to have to come up with solid recommendations for what they should do with their websites and why you're making those changes. And then the last part here is to create an omni-channel digital marketing campaign. So you're going to come up with a marketing campaign. You need to choose what platforms that you're going to promote this campaign on. You need to create some content. So, guys, you can use AI for this if you want. That's nice and easy. Just go to one of the AI platforms and create something that would work for Okanagan Skydive. If you've used platforms like Canva or Adobe Express before, you can go in and do a little bit more design on that, guys. But I'm not looking for, like a fully designed ad or anything like that. We just want some content that targets your target audience, your user persona, something that makes sense for their company. Okay, but also, guys, you want to include some copy, so some text with it. You want some hashtags. You want to use keywords within that to actually help promote your ad. So you'll want to put that in, and you'll want to explain why you're putting that in. I just mentioned here, guys, what channels you're going to target. Is it email? Is it social media, text, SEO? Where are you actually going to promote this content? You'll also have to explain your frequency, timing, and targeting. So How often are you sending this out? Where are you sending it out? What time of day, and which day, and then to who. And then you've got to explain any partnerships you might utilize. So, in terms of, maybe an influencer, maybe a different company, where are you going to try and get this content displayed? Okay. And with partnering with who? And then, guys, as always, you've got to create explanations for everything that you put in there, with some citations. So make sure you're putting in some evidence for why you were making these choices. And then, guys, the same as before, you divide the work up evenly. Each section should be 1 to 2 pages. You're probably not going to need too many screenshots for this one, but you should provide at least one piece of support for each section, and then use APA citation for the formatting and references. Again, guys, the rubric is here, same as the previous one. 10 different categories here: relevance, reasoning, depth, evidence relevance, evidence credibility, and evidence depth. And then engagement, organization, clarity, and professionalism. And you guys can come and have a look at this to see how to get a 10 out of 10 in each category. All right, guys, there we go. That's AS02. That is due April 12th at 11:59 p.m. Please let me know if you have any questions. epi@okanagan.bc.ca.